in the shattered remnants of New Haven City, where the ocean's roar mingled with the distant echoes of interstellar artillery, Kai Vance piloted his battered fighter jet through the storm-lashed skies. The war had come like a thief in the night, alien fleets from the distant empire of Lunara descending upon Earth with their gleaming ships and energy weapons that tore through concrete and steel like paper. Humanity fought back. Of course, we always do. But in this coastal hellhole, once a vibrant hub of trade and tourism, now reduced to rubble and despair, Kai was just trying to survive another day. He'd been a commercial pilot before the invasion, ferrying tourists across the Pacific. Now, he was a rogue ace, scavenging parts from downed enemy vessels to keep his bird in the air. The Lunarians, ethereal beings with pale skin, pointed ears like ancient elves, and hair as white as fresh snow, had targeted the city for its strategic ports. Their queen, rumor had it, had led a desperate incursion herself, but something had gone wrong. Kai didn't care about the politics, he cared about the next meal, the next safe landing. That night, as lightning cracked the sky and rain hammered his cockpit, Kai spotted a faint distress beacon amid the ruins of the old harbor district. It wasn't human tech, too elegant, too alien. Curiosity, or maybe stupidity, pulled him in. He banked low, dodging debris, and set down on a cracked pier that groaned under the weight. The wind whipped his flight jacket as he jumped out, pistol in hand, flashlight cutting through the downpour. There, huddled in the shadow of a collapsed warehouse, was a figure unlike any he'd seen up close. She was tall, graceful even in defeat, her white hair matted with mud, her lacy robes torn and singed. Pointed ears peeked from beneath the strands, and her skin glowed faintly under the beam of his light like moonlight on porcelain. A Lunarian royal, no doubt, wounded, clutching a gash on her side that seeped iridescent blood. "Who the hell are you?" Kai growled, his voice barely audible over the storm, her eyes, a piercing violet, locked onto his. "I am Queen Elara of Lunara," she whispered, her voice melodic yet strained. "And you are my salvation." Kai hesitated. He'd heard stories of Lunarian queens, fierce leaders who commanded fleets with a wave of their hand. But here she was, vulnerable, alone. The war had taken everything from him, his family, his home, helping an enemy, insane. But something in her gaze stirred him, a mix of desperation and regality that made his heart twist. Before he could decide, a Lunarian patrol drone hummed overhead, its scanners sweeping the area. Without thinking, Kai grabbed her arm, pulling her into the shadows. "Come on, Your Highness, if they find you, we're both toast." He half-carried her back to his jet, her body light yet firm against his. She didn't resist, her breath warm on his neck as he strapped her in. The engines roared to life, and they lifted off just as enemy fire lit up the pier. Kai weaved through the chaos, his skills honed by months of evasion, until they reached his hidden bunker in the hills overlooking the city, a forgotten military outpost stocked with canned goods and a makeshift med bay. Inside, under the dim fluorescent lights, Kai patched her up as best he could. Human medicine on alien physiology was a gamble, but the wound closed with a hiss of antiseptic foam. She watched him silently, her violet eyes tracing his movements, strong hands, scarred from battles, yet gentle in their care. "Why save me?" she asked finally, her voice like a soft chime. Kai shrugged, wiping blood from his hands. "Beats me. Maybe I'm tired of killing, or maybe you remind me of someone I lost." A long silence stretched between them, broken only by the distant thunder. Then, with a solemn grace, Queen Elara rose, her presence filling the small room. "In Lunara, debts are sacred. You have given me life, human, but my treasures are lost in the war, gold, jewels, all gone with my ship. I repay with flesh, not gold. My daughters are yours now." Kai blinked, sure he'd misheard. What? They are hidden nearby, in a cloaked pod. "Lyra and Zara, my heirs, take them. They will serve you, protect you, love you if you wish. It is our way." Before he could protest, she activated a communicator on her wrist, summoning a faint shimmer in the air outside. Two figures emerged from the night, twin visions of otherworldly beauty. Hair white as starlight cascading down their backs, skin pale and flawless, small pointed ears adding an elfin charm. Their bodies were curvaceous, sensual in a way that seemed sculpted by dreams, clad in form-fitting garments of soft fur that hugged every curve, leaving little to the imagination. They moved with an innate grace, their violet eyes mirroring their mother's, filled with a mix of curiosity and obedience. "Father has chosen well," Lyra said, her voice a sultry whisper, stepping forward to touch Kai's arm. Zara followed, her gaze lingering on his rugged features, a faint blush coloring her cheeks. Queen Elara nodded. "They are yours. Teach them your ways, warrior, and perhaps, in time, you will find more than repayment." With that, she vanished into the storm, her form dissolving into a beam of light, teleported back to her surviving fleet, Kai assumed. He was left staring at the two alien princesses in his dingy bunker, the weight of her words sinking in. What the hell had he gotten himself into? The next morning dawned gray and unforgiving over the ruins of New Haven. Kai woke to the sound of soft voices, finding Lyra and Zara exploring his meager supplies. They poked at a can of beans with fascination, their fur-clad forms bending gracefully. Tails, wait, did they have tails? No, just the sway of their hips that made his pulse quicken. "Human food?" Zara asked, tilting her head, her pointed ears twitching slightly. Kai rubbed his eyes. "Yeah, it's not palace fare, but it'll keep you alive. Look, this whole yours now thing, I'm not some king. I'm just a guy trying to survive." Lyra smiled, a mischievous glint in her eye. "Mother said you are our protector. We will learn from you, Kai Vance." He sighed, realizing there was no sending them back, not with the war raging. The city below was a wasteland, but the slums on the outskirts still buzzed with black market life. If they were staying, they'd have to blend in. No more royal heirs, they'd live like humans, in the grit and grime. Their first venture into the slums was a disaster waiting to happen. Kai led them down muddy paths lined with shanties, where survivors bartered scraps under flickering holograms. Lyra and Zara drew stares immediately, their ethereal beauty stood out like diamonds in dirt. Men leered, women whispered, but the sisters seemed oblivious, their curiosity overriding caution. At the night market, a sprawling maze of stalls under tarps, Kai haggled for clothes. "You can't walk around in fur bikinis," he muttered, handing them worn jeans and hoodies. Zara struggled with the zipper, her fingers fumbling, accidentally brushing against Kai's hand in a way that sent sparks up his arm. "How do your people endure such confinement?" she asked, her voice laced with innocent frustration. Kai chuckled despite himself. "You'll get used to it. Now, food, try this, street noodles." They sat on crates, slurping spicy broth under neon lights. Lyra's eyes widened at the heat, fanning her mouth dramatically. "It burns like plasma fire, but delicious." As they ate, a group of rough-looking scavengers approached, eyes on the sisters. "Fresh meat, where'd you find these beauties, flyboy?" Kai stood, hand on his pistol. "Back off, they're with me." A tense standoff ensued, but the alien's presence shifted the air. Lyra's gaze hardened, a faint glow emanating from her skin, enough to make the thugs rethink. They slunk away, muttering. That night, back in the bunker, as rain pattered on the roof, Zara curled up beside Kai on the cot. "You protected us, like a true mate." Kai's heart raced. These princesses weren't just repayment, they were a complication wrapped in temptation. Lyra joined, her body warm against his other side. "Teach us more, Kai, about your world. And you." The war outside faded as the three of them talked into the night, stories of Lunara's crystal palaces clashing with Earth's gritty resilience. Kai felt a pull, a forbidden attraction blooming in the ruins. Humanity had always been adaptable, but could he adapt to this, to being the hero in an alien fairy tale? Days blurred into a routine of survival and discovery. The slums became their classroom. Kai showed them how to wash clothes in the communal troughs, their delicate hands splashing water as they laughed at the suds. "On Lunara, servants handle this," Lyra admitted, wringing out a shirt with exaggerated effort. "Yeah, well, here we're all servants to the grind," Kai replied, his eyes lingering on the way her wet hoodie clung to her form. They navigated the black market together, bartering salvaged Lunarian tech for essentials. Zara's quick mind picked up haggling fast, her violet eyes flashing as she outwitted a vendor for fresh fish. "Your people are cunning," she said admiringly to Kai later, pressing close in the crowded stall. But danger lurked. Patrols from both sides swept the area, and whispers of Lunarian spies spread. One evening, as they dined at a dingy eatery, greasy burgers and flickering holoscreens, Kai overheard talk of a bounty on alien royals. "We need to lay low," he warned, but Lyra's hand on his thigh under the table distracted him. Or perhaps, get closer. The tension built, a mix of fear and desire. In the bunker, nights grew intimate. Zara would brush her hair, the white strands glowing softly, while Lyra shared tales of Lunaran courtship, dances under dual moons, touches that ignited inner fires. Kai resisted at first, but their allure was undeniable. One stormy night, as thunder shook the walls, Lyra leaned in, her lips brushing his ear. "Mother gave us to you, let us repay in full." His resolve cracked, hands explored, breaths mingled. Zara watched, then joined, their bodies a tangle of human strength and alien grace. It was more than physical, a bond forming in the chaos, where humanity's fire met Lunara's mystery. Yet, the war pressed on, a massive Lunarian assault loomed, and Kai knew he couldn't hide forever. With Lyra and Zara by his side, he began planning not just survival but resistance. Humanity fuck yeah, he thought, as their touches fueled his determination. The slums teemed with life, a chaotic symphony of desperation and defiance. Kai, Lyra, and Zara wove through it, learning the rhythms of human existence. Mornings started with scavenging runs, picking through rubble for usable tech. Lyra's keen senses detected hidden compartments in downed ships, her pointed ears perking at faint hums. "You're like walking radars." Kai joked, pocketing a power cell. Zara smiled, her fur garment now layered under human clothes. "And you are our anchor, strong and unyielding." Afternoons were for chores, giant communal laundries where steam rose like fog. The sisters marveled at the machines, giggling as they overloaded one with too many socks. Water sprayed everywhere, soaking them. Kai couldn't help but stare, the wet fabric accentuating their curves. "Human rituals are invigorating," Lyra said, pressing a damp cloth to his chest playfully. Evenings brought the night markets, alive with aromas of grilled meats and spiced teas. They haggled for bread, Zara's bargaining turning heads with her exotic accent. Once, a vendor tried to shortchange them. Lyra's subtle glow intimidated him into fairness. But not all interactions were smooth. In a crowded bar, a drunkard grabbed Zara's arm. "What are you, some kinda elf whore?" Kai's fist connected before words could. A brawl erupted, fists flying, chairs breaking. Lyra and Zara fought too, their alien agility dodging blows, landing precise strikes. Kai took a hit but gave more, his pilot reflexes sharp. They escaped laughing, adrenaline pumping. Back home, wounds were tended with tender touches. "You fight like a Lunarian warrior," Zara murmured, bandaging his knuckles. The intimacy deepened. Nights blurred into explorations, kisses tasting of salt and stars, hands mapping unknown territories. Kai discovered their skin warmed under touch, glowing faintly like bioluminescence. Lyra's moans were melodic, Zara's whispers encouraging. Yet, amidst the passion, reality intruded. Scouts reported Lunarian forces massing. Queen Elara's fleet was returning, perhaps to reclaim her daughters. Kai felt torn, loyalty to Earth, budding love for these aliens. One day, in the market, they stumbled upon a resistance cell. "We need fighters like you," the leader said, eyeing Kai's jet schematics. Lyra and Zara exchanged glances. "We stand with Kai," Lyra declared. As tensions rose, their bond strengthened. In quiet moments, they shared dreams, Lyra of rebuilding Lunara with human ingenuity, Zara of a hybrid future. Kai, once alone, now had purpose. The storm was coming, but together, they were unbreakable. As the first hints of a brewing tempest darkened the horizon over New Haven's jagged skyline, Kai felt the weight of their unbreakable bond pressing against him like the humid air before a downpour. The resistance cell's offer lingered in his mind, a spark of purpose amid the daily grind. But for now, the three of them retreated to the bunker, the door ceiling shut with a heavy clang that echoed their growing intimacy. Lyra and Zara moved with a fluid synchronicity, shedding their damp market clothes in the dim light, their pale skin catching the faint glow from the emergency lanterns. Kai watched, his breath catching slightly. There was something hypnotic about them, an otherworldly allure that made the ruins feel less like a prison and more like a secret haven. Zara turned to him first, her violet eyes shimmering with unspoken hunger. "The storm outside mirrors the one within us, Kai," she murmured, her voice a low, velvety caress that sent shivers down his spine. She stepped closer, her body still clad in the thin fur undergarment that clung to her curves like a second skin, accentuating the gentle swell of her hips and the graceful arch of her back. Her small pointed ears twitched ever so slightly, as if attuned to the rhythm of his quickening pulse. Lyra, not one to be outdone, slid up beside her sister, her white hair cascading like a waterfall over her shoulders. "We've learned much from your world today, the chaos of the markets, the thrill of the fight, but there's more we crave to understand." Her fingers trailed lightly along Kai's arm, tracing the scars from old battles, each touch igniting a spark that built slowly, teasingly. The air in the bunker grew thick, charged with an electric tension that mirrored the distant rumble of thunder. Kai swallowed hard, his body responding despite the voice in his head warning of the dangers ahead. The war was escalating. Scouts had whispered of Lunarian reinforcements slipping through Earth's orbital defenses, their ships cloaked in shadows. But in this moment, with the sisters so close, their sense, a mix of exotic florals from Lunara and the earthy rain of Earth enveloping him, those threats felt distant. He reached out, his hand cupping Zara's cheek, feeling the warmth of her skin, how it seemed to pulse faintly under his touch, as if her very essence was alive with energy. "You too are trouble," he said, his voice rough, laced with a mix of amusement and desire. But he didn't pull away. Instead, he let Zara press into him, her body molding against his chest, soft yet firm, her breath warm against his neck. Lyra joined from the other side, her lips brushing his ear in a whisper that promised secrets. "Let us show you how Lunarians express gratitude." She breathed, her hand sliding down his back, fingers dancing along his spine with deliberate slowness. The bunker, once a cold shelter, transformed into a cocoon of suspenseful anticipation. Kai's mind raced. Were they safe here? Had anyone followed them from the market? The resistance leader's words echoed, "Lunarian spies are everywhere." But as Zara's lips found his, soft and insistent, those worries blurred. Her kiss was like nothing human, gentle at first, then deepening with a fervor that made his head spin, her tongue exploring with a curiosity that bordered on the erotic, tasting of sweet nectar from distant stars. Lyra watched for a moment, her eyes darkening with envy and excitement, before she leaned in, her mouth claiming the side of his neck. Her teeth grazed his skin lightly, not enough to hurt, but enough to send jolts of pleasure racing through him. "On Lunara, we share everything," she purred, her hand slipping under his shirt, palms flat against the hard planes of his abdomen. Kai groaned softly, his hands instinctively roaming, one tangling in Zara's silky hair, the other pulling Lyra closer, feeling the heat radiating from her body. They moved as one toward the cot in the corner, the dim light casting long shadows that danced across their forms. The suspense built with every step, every touch. Kai's heart pounded, not just from arousal, but from the unknown. What if this was a trap? What if Queen Elara's gift came with strings, invisible threads pulling them toward some greater conflict? But those thoughts dissolved as Zara pushed him gently onto the mattress, her body straddling his hips with a grace that belied her strength. Her fur garment slipped slightly, revealing more of her flawless skin, the curve of her breasts rising and falling with her breath. "You're so human," Zara whispered, her voice husky, fingers working at the buttons of his shirt. Strong, unyielding, yet so warm. She leaned down, her hair falling like a curtain around them, her lips trailing kisses down his chest, each one deliberate, building a slow burn that made him ache. Lyra knelt beside them, her own hands exploring Zara's back, encouraging her sister while her gaze locked with Kai's, a promise of more to come. The erotic tension coiled tighter as clothes were discarded piece by piece. Kai's jeans hit the floor with a soft thud, followed by the whisper of fur as the sisters shed their remaining coverings. Their bodies were a vision, curvaceous and inviting, skin glowing softly in the low light, pointed ears adding an exotic flair that made them seem like mythical beings come to life. He reached for Zara, pulling her down, their bodies aligning in a way that felt both natural and forbidden. Her thighs pressed against his, warm and smooth, as she moved with a rhythmic grace, her moans soft and melodic, filling the air like a siren song. Lyra wasn't idle. She slid in behind Zara, her hands caressing her sister's sides, then reaching around to touch Kai, creating a web of sensation that overwhelmed him. "Feel us, Kai," Lyra urged, her voice a sultry command. "Let the storm rage outside while we find calm here." Her fingers intertwined with his, guiding them over Zara's body, exploring the sensitive spots that made the princess gasp, the hollow of her throat, the dip of her waist, the fullness of her form. Time stretched, suspense hanging in every pause, every breath. Kai flipped them gently, taking control, his human strength a counterpoint to their ethereal agility. He kissed Zara deeply, then turned to Lyra, drawing her in, their lips meeting in a clash of passion that left them both breathless. The bunker echoed with their shared whispers and sighs, the outside world forgotten in this intimate dance. But even as pleasure built, an undercurrent of erotic suspense lingered. Kai's mind flickered to the communicator on the table, its light blinking faintly. Was it a message from the resistance, or something from Lunara? Zara arched beneath him, her body responding with an intensity that surprised even her. "More," she pleaded, her violet eyes half-lidded, glowing with inner light. Kai obliged, his movements slow and teasing at first, building to a crescendo that had her clutching at him, nails digging lightly into his back. Lyra watched, her own desire evident, before joining again, her touches adding layers to the ecstasy, a kiss here, a caress there, turning the encounter into a symphony of sensation. As waves of pleasure washed over them, the erotic haze deepened. Bodies entwined in ways that blurred lines between human and alien. Kai felt their energies mingling, a faint hum in his veins, as if their Lunarian essence was seeping into him, heightening every touch. Zara's climax came first, a soft cry escaping her lips, her body trembling against his. Lyra followed soon after, pulled into the vortex by their shared connection, her pointed ears flushing with color. They collapsed together, limbs tangled, breaths ragged in the afterglow. But the suspense didn't fade entirely. Kai's hand brushed the communicator, its screen lighting up with an urgent alert. Lunarian ships sighted nearby. The storm wasn't just metaphorical anymore, it was closing in. Yet, in the quiet that followed, Lyra nuzzled against his shoulder, her voice a whisper. "This is only the beginning, our protector." Zara nodded, her hand resting on his chest, feeling his heartbeat. "We've given ourselves to you, but there's more to explore." Kai pulled them closer, the erotic warmth lingering, even as his mind shifted to the dangers ahead. Resistance needed them, and with Lyra and Zara's alien insights, they could turn the tide. But for now, in this stolen moment, he allowed himself to savor the bond, the suspense of what tomorrow might bring, adding an edge to their intimacy. The night wore on, their conversations turning from passion to plans, bodies still close, touches lingering. Zara traced patterns on his skin, her fingers light and teasing, reigniting sparks. "Tell us about your battles. How you fly through the stars like a god." He shared stories of dogfights, the thrill of evasion, his voice low and gravelly. Lyra listened rapt, her body pressed against his side, one leg draped over his. "On Lunara, our warriors dance with energy blades. Perhaps we can teach you." The erotic undercurrent persisted, their proximity a constant temptation. A simple shift, a brush of skin, and desire flared again. This time, it was slower, more exploratory, Kai learning the contours of their bodies, discovering how pressure on their pointed ears elicited gasps, how their skin warmed and glowed under prolonged touch. Zara initiated, pulling him atop her once more, her movements fluid and inviting. "Show me human endurance," she challenged, her eyes sparkling with mischief. Kai rose to it, their union a blend of suspense and release, every thrust building tension like a coiled spring. Lyra participated, her hands roaming freely, whispering encouragements that heightened the experience. The bunker filled with their harmonious sounds, a private world amid the chaos. As dawn approached, exhaustion claimed them, but not before one final, lingering embrace. Kai held them both, their white hair fanned across his chest, bodies relaxed in satiation. The alert on the communicator blinked insistently, a reminder that their haven was temporary. Suspicion crept in, was Queen Elara watching? Had she planned this all along? But those questions faded in the warmth of their presence. Together, they were a force, humanity's grit fused with Lunara's mystery. The day broke with urgency. Scouts arrived at the bunker door, banging insistently. "Kai, the Lunarians are probing the slums. We need your jet." Lyra and Zara stirred, their naked forms graceful even in haste as they dressed. "We fight with you," Zara declared, her voice steady. Kai nodded, the erotic night fueling his resolve. As they geared up, touches lingered, a hand squeeze, a quick kiss, promises of more. In the slums, tension mounted. Patrols skimmed overhead, energy beams scarring the ground. Kai led them through back alleys, heart racing from more than fear. At the Resistance hideout, plans unfolded. Lyra's knowledge of Lunarian tactics proved invaluable. "Their weakness is overconfidence," she said, leaning close to Kai, her breath on his ear-stirring memories. Zara added, "We can disrupt their cloaks with our innate energies." The leader eyed them suspiciously but relented. "If you're with us, prove it." As night fell again, they prepared for a raid on a Lunarian outpost. Suspense built, would they succeed? Kai felt the weight, but with the sisters by his side, erotic echoes in his mind, he felt invincible. In a quiet moment before departure, Zara pulled him aside, her body pressing against his in the shadows. "For luck," she whispered, her kiss deep and promising. Lyra joined, turning it into a brief, heated trio. Hands explored urgently, breaths quick, a stolen erotic interlude amid peril. Then, they moved out, the storm breaking overhead, mirroring the turmoil within. Rain lashed against the makeshift barricades as Kai, Lyra, and Zara slipped through the shadowed alleys of the slums, the thunderous cracks overhead syncing with the pounding of their hearts. The Resistance team flanked them, a ragtag group of former soldiers, mechanics, and civilians turned fighters, all armed with scavenged weapons that hummed with jury-rigged energy. Kai's jet waited in a concealed hangar nearby, its engines primed for the daring strike on the Lunarian outpost perched on the city's edge, a fortress of shimmering shields and towering spires that mocked Earth's defiance. The plan was simple yet suicidal: infiltrate under cover of the storm, disable the cloaking generators with the sisters' innate abilities, then unleash hell from the skies. Zara's hand lingered on Kai's arm as they crouched behind a crumbling wall, her touch a remnant of their heated farewell, grounding him amid the chaos. "Stay close," she whispered, her violet eyes reflecting the lightning flashes, filled with a fierce protectiveness that made his chest tighten. Lyra nodded beside her, her white hair plastered to her face, pointed ears alert to every distant hum of enemy drones. The curiosity in their gazes, eager to see human valor in action, fueled Kai's resolve, but a surprising undercurrent of doubt gnawed at him. What if this bond, forged in passion and peril, shattered tonight? The signal came, a flare from the lead scout, and they surged forward, boots splashing through puddles that mirrored the stormy sky. Thrilling adrenaline coursed through Kai as they neared the outpost's perimeter, where Lunarian sentries patrolled with glowing staffs, their ethereal forms cutting through the rain like ghosts. The sisters moved like shadows, their alien grace allowing them to slip past initial sensors undetected. Kai followed, pistol raised, his human instincts sharpened by years of survival, a drone whirred overhead, its red eye scanning. Lyra extended her hand, a subtle pulse of energy from her palm disrupting its flight path, sending it spiraling into the mud with a satisfying crunch. "Impressive," Kai muttered, but there was no time for praise. They breached the outer fence, cutting through with a plasma torch that sizzled in the downpour. Inside, the outpost buzzed with activity, Lunarian technicians scurrying between consoles, unaware of the intruders weaving through the labyrinth of corridors. The dramatic tension built with every step, the air thick with the scent of ozone and alien machinery. Zara paused at a junction, her ears twitching. "I sense Mother's signature, faint, but here. She's linked to this place somehow." Kai's heart skipped, a surprise revelation that sent curiosity spiraling. Queen Elara involved directly? It explained the heavy defenses, but why? Before he could question, alarms blared, red lights pulsing like a wounded heartbeat. They'd been spotted. Lunarian guards converged, their energy blades igniting with a whoosh, casting eerie glows on the wet floors. "Form up," the resistance leader shouted, but chaos erupted. Blasts flew, searing the air. Kai dove behind a crate, firing back, his shots precise, dropping one guard in a spray of iridescent blood. Lyra and Zara, transformed in the fray, gone were the curious princesses, in their place, warriors born of Lunara's ancient lineages. Lyra leaped with impossible agility, her body a blur as she disarmed a foe, her hands glowing to absorb the blade's energy and redirect it in a shocking burst. Zara channeled her power differently, creating illusions that confused the enemy, making duplicates of the team that drew fire away. Thrilling clashes echoed through the halls. A resistance fighter grappled hand-to-hand with a towering Lunarian, human grit against alien elegance. Kai rolled out, covering Lyra as she advanced toward the central generator room. A guard lunged at him, blade swinging, he parried with his pistol barrel, the metal sparking, then countered with a knee to the gut. The alien doubled over, surprise in its violet eyes. Humans weren't supposed to be this fierce. "Humanity, fuck yeah," Kai growled, finishing it with a point-blank shot. But the climax intensified as they burst into the core chamber, a vast dome humming with power. At its heart, a holographic display flickered, revealing Queen Elara's face, not a recording, but live, her expression a mix of regal calm and hidden desperation. "Daughters," she intoned, her voice booming, "you've come?" Lyra froze, Zara's hand flying to her mouth in curious shock. "Mother, what is this?" Elara's image wavered. The war was never about conquest. Lunara is dying, our world poisoned by a cosmic blight. We sought Earth's vitality, its resilient spirit, to save us. But your father, the High Council betrayed me, turning invasion into genocide. The revelation hit like a thunderbolt, surprising even Kai. All this destruction for survival, the dramatic weight pressed down as guards poured in, the room becoming a battlefield. Blasts ricocheted off shields, a resistance member fell, screaming, but they pressed on. Kai shielded Zara from an incoming strike, taking a graze that burned like fire across his shoulder. "We end this now," he yelled, his voice thrilling with defiance. Lyra reached the generator console, her fingers dancing over alien controls, but a massive Lunarian commander emerged armored, wielding a dual-bladed staff that crackled with lightning. "Traitors!" he bellowed, charging at the sisters. The fight was visceral, thrilling. Lyra dodged, Zara flanked, their combined energies clashing against his. Kai joined, his human bullets pinging off armor until he aimed for joints, weakening the beast. In a curious twist, Zara tapped into a deeper power, her body glowing brighter, drawing from the bond they'd forged with Kai. "Feel our unity," she cried, unleashing a wave that staggered the commander. Lyra followed, absorbing his energy strike and hurling it back, the explosion dramatic and blinding. But the surprise peaked as Elara's hologram intervened, overriding systems. "Enough, I command a ceasefire." The guards hesitated, weapons lowering. "Kai Vance, savior of my bloodline, you've proven humanity's worth. My daughter's choice is clear." The room fell silent, save for heavy breaths and dripping water. The outpost's shields dropped, exposing it to the storm and to Kai's waiting jet outside. But curiosity burned. Was this alliance genuine, or a ploy? Thrilling possibilities unfolded as Elara continued. "Join us, merge our worlds. Earth's fire with Lunara's grace." Kai glanced at Lyra and Zara, their faces alight with hope and uncertainty. The climax hung in the balance, betrayal or salvation. A distant explosion rocked the building, human reinforcements arriving, unaware of the shift. "Decide quickly," Elara urged, her image flickering as systems overloaded. Kai's mind raced, thrilling with the stakes. He grabbed the sisters' hands. "We fight for a new future together." With that, they activated the self-destruct, but not before downloading vital data on the Blight. Escaping through corridors alive with sparks, guards parting at Elara's command, the trio burst into the rain. Kai's jet roared to life, lifting them away as the outpost erupted in a dramatic fireball, lighting the night sky. But the surprise wasn't over. In the cockpit, Zara clutched a data crystal. "Mother embedded a message for you, Kai." Playing it, Elara's voice filled the cabin. "My daughters carry the seed of renewal. With a human mate, they can birth hybrids to heal Lunara. You are the key." Kai's eyes widened in curious astonishment. Fatherhood, the thrilling implications soared as they banked toward safety, the war's tide turning in an instant. The escape wasn't clean, pursuing drones locked on, energy beams slicing the air. Kai weaved through the storm, his piloting skills a thrilling display of human ingenuity. Lightning illuminated the chase, the jet's afterburners flaring. Lyra manned the co-pilot seat, her alien tech interfacing to jam signals, while Zara channeled energy to reinforce shields. A hit rocked them, alarms wailing. "Hold on," Kai shouted, diving low over the slums, using ruins for cover. The dramatic pursuit built to a fever pitch. One drone exploded against a building, another clipped by lightning. Finally, shaking the last, they landed at the resistance base, greeted by wary allies. Leader demanded explanations, but Lyra stepped forward, her presence commanding. "The Queen offers peace, but it requires trust." Curiosity rippled through the crowd. What terms? Kai revealed the Blight, the hybrid potential, surprising everyone. Murmurs turned to debates, the thrilling prospect of alliance hanging. In a private moment, Zara pulled Kai aside. "Would you, with us for our worlds?" His answer, a passionate kiss amid the rain, sealed the dramatic turn. But shadows lingered, betrayers in Lunara's council, Earth skeptics. The climax resolved one battle, but ignited a larger war of hearts and stars. As dawn broke, clearer skies hinting at hope, Kai stood with his alien loves, ready for whatever surprises lay ahead. Humanity's spirit, unyielding, had just claimed the cosmos. The base buzzed with activity, plans forming for diplomatic outreach. Lyra and Zara shared more secrets, Lunara's hidden technologies that could aid Earth. Kai felt the weight, but also exhilaration. This was HFY at its core, humans turning enemies into allies through sheer audacity. Yet, a final thrill, a scout reported Council forces rejecting Elara's command, launching a counterstrike. The war wasn't over, it was evolving. Kai grinned. "Let's show them what hybrids can do." As the first rays of dawn pierced the lingering storm clouds, casting a golden hue over the resistance base, a sprawling network of tents and fortified bunkers nestled in the hills, Kai's grin faded into a mask of determination, his words still hanging in the air like a challenge to the universe itself. The base thrummed with newfound energy. Fighters scrambling to analyze the data Crystal Zara clutched, its facets glinting as if holding the secrets of stars. Lyra paced nearby, her white hair swaying with each step, pointed ears flicking at the cacophony of voices debating the Queen's offer. Diplomatic outreach. The resistance leader, a grizzled veteran named Reyes, barked, slamming a fist on a makeshift table. "To aliens who bombed our cities, this better not be a trap, flyboy." Kai crossed his arms, feeling the burn of his shoulder wound from the raid, a dramatic reminder of the night's toll. It's not. Elara's genuine, her world's crumbling, and we're the fix. But those council bastards won't go quietly. The drama heightened as scouts reported incoming signals. Lunarian council forces, loyal to the betrayers, were mobilizing a strike fleet, their ships slicing through the atmosphere like vengeful blades. Whispers spread through the camp. Could they trust these ethereal princesses? Or were they sirens leading humanity to doom? Zara stepped forward, her curvaceous form drawing eyes despite the tension, her fur-trimmed outfit now mudded and torn from the escape. "We bring proof," she said, inserting the crystal into a salvaged projector. Holograms flickered to life, displaying Lunara's poisoned landscapes, crystalline forests withered, skies choked with toxic auroras. The images stirred a mix of awe and horror. Ray's narrowed his eyes. "Pretty pictures. Doesn't mean we roll out the welcome mat." The awkwardness hit like a misplaced punchline when Lyra, trying to bridge the gap, extended her hand in a Lunarian greeting, a palm press that inadvertently sent a mild energy pulse through Ray's. He yelped, jumping back as if shocked by static, his hair standing on end. "What the hell was that, you trying to fry me?" Laughter rippled through the crowd, a little humor cutting the edge. Even as Lyra flushed, her pale cheeks tinting violet. "Apologies, it's our way of showing sincerity. Your hair looks quite alive now." Kai stifled a chuckle, pulling her back gently. "Easy there, Sparkles. Humans shake hands, not zap 'em." The moment lightened the drama briefly, but it underscored the cultural chasm. These princesses, accustomed to palaces and protocols, now navigating a world of grit and grunts. Zara, ever the quick learner, mimicked a human handshake with exaggerated formality, her fingers lingering on a young fighter's hand a tad too long, making him blush furiously. "Like this, your customs are so tactile." As the day wore on, the base became a whirlwind of preparations, drama building with every incoming report. Council ships were probing defenses, energy scans lighting up radars like fireworks. Kai volunteered for a reconnaissance flight, but Ray's insisted on pairing him with a human co-pilot, distrust simmering. "No offense to your ladies, but we handle our own skies." Lyra's eyes flashed with indignation, but Zara placed a calming hand on her sister's arm. "Let us prove ourselves differently. We can enhance your weapons with Lunarian tech." In a cramped workshop tent, the awkward situations piled on like a comedy of errors. Lyra attempted to integrate a glowing crystal into a human rifle, her graceful fingers fumbling with the clunky earth mechanics. "This device is so primitive. How do you not accidentally shoot your own appendages?" The gun misfired during testing, sending a harmless energy bolt into a stack of crates, toppling them in a cascade of canned goods. Fighters dove for cover, emerging covered in beans and laughter. "Alien tech, my ass," one quipped, wiping sauce from his face. Kai roared with amusement, helping Lyra up. "Welcome to human ingenuity, messy but effective." Zara, meanwhile, tried her hand at medical duties, her innate healing energies a boon for the wounded. But when she placed her palms on a soldier's injured leg, the glow intensified awkwardly, making him squirm. Miss, that's not my leg that's tingling." Her innocent confusion, "Is this not the correct pressure point?" drew snickers, heightening the humor while underscoring the intimate nature of her powers. Kai intervened, his face heating, whispering, "Tone it down, love. Humans aren't used to that kind of buzz." The drama escalated as evening fell, a council scout ship breaching the perimeter. Alarms wailed, fighters scrambling to positions. Kai dashed to his jet, Lyra and Zara insisting on joining despite Ray's protests. "Their liabilities," he shouted, but Kai shot back. "Their assets and mine." The takeoff was thrilling, the jet screaming into the twilight, but awkwardness struck mid-flight when Zara, strapped in the rear seat, accidentally activated her illusion ability during turbulence. Suddenly, the cockpit seemed filled with duplicates of Kai, each grinning mischievously. "Which one is real?" Lyra teased from the co-pilot chair, adding a humorous twist to the tension. "Cut it out, I'm trying not to crash," Kai laughed, but his voice tightened as the enemy ship loomed, its weapons charging. The dogfight was a dramatic ballet of lasers and evasive maneuvers, Kai's human piloting clashing with the scouts' elegant arcs. A hit grazed their wing, sparks flying. Lyra channeled energy to stabilize, her body pressed against Kai's in the confined space, an awkward yet charged proximity that made his focus waver. "Focus on the fight, not the feel," she murmured with a wink, injecting humor into the peril. Zara disrupted the enemy's sensors with a pulse, causing their ship to veer wildly right into a cliffside in a spectacular explosion. Cheers erupted over the comms, but the victory was short-lived. Back at base, Reyes confronted them, drama peaking. "You could have gotten us all killed with your parlor tricks." Lyra stood tall, her voice steady. "We saved your skies, accept us, or lose the war." The awkward standoff broke when a young techie, still chuckling from the earlier mishaps, offered a peace gesture, a shared meal of slum rations. Seated around a fire, the group swapped stories, Lunara's moon dances versus Earth's barbecues. Zara's attempt at roasting marshmallows ended in a gooey mess on her fur garment, drawing belly laughs. "Your food fights back," she exclaimed, flicking sticky bits at Kai, who retaliated playfully. But humor faded as an encrypted message from Elara arrived. The Council was launching a full assault at dawn, targeting the base to eliminate the hybrid threat. Drama surged, evacuation, fight. Kai felt the weight, his bond with the sisters a beacon amid uncertainty. In a quiet tent, away from prying eyes, the awkwardness turned intimate. Lyra and Zara huddled close, their bodies warm against his. "If tomorrow brings the end," Zara whispered, "know we've chosen you freely." Kai pulled them into an embrace, but the moment twisted humorously when a resistance patrol burst in, mistaking the glow of their skins for an alert. "Intruders, never mind." The guards backed out red-faced, mumbling apologies. Laughter bubbled up, easing the tension. "Privacy's a luxury in war," Kai quipped. As night deepened, plans solidified, a daring counterstrike using hybrid tactics, human grit fused with Lunarian power. Drama hung heavy, awkward alliances forming, humorous blunders forging bonds. Kai lay awake, Lyra and Zara nestled beside him, their breath sinking. Tomorrow would test everything, but in this moment, humanity's resilient spirit shone, ready to claim victory with a side of unexpected laughs. The assault came with the sun, Council ships darkening the horizon like angry clouds. Sirens blared, the base erupting in controlled chaos. Kai led a squadron, his jet modified with Lunarian shields courtesy of the sisters' overnight tweaks, though not without an awkward glitch that made the cockpit lights pulse like a disco. "Romantic ambience for battle?" Lyra joked over the link, her own craft, a salvaged Lunarian shuttle, flanking him. Drama unfolded in the skies, beams crisscrossing, explosions blooming. Kai dodged a missile, his maneuvers drawing cheers from ground teams. But awkwardness struck when Zara's illusion cloaked their formation, accidentally making enemy ships appear as friendly, causing a brief hesitation that nearly cost an ally. "Oops, fixed it," she called, humor in her voice amid the thrill. Ground forces clashed below, resistance fighters enhanced by Lunarian auras clashing with Council troops. Reyes, zapped earlier, now wielded a powered rifle, yelling, "Eat plasma, you pointy-eared pricks." The humor in his turnaround lightened the grim fight. A turning point came when Council commanders broadcast demands, surrender the princesses or face annihilation. Elara's countersignal hacked in, revealing the betrayal's depth. Council greed for Earth's resources, not salvation. Drama peaked as loyalties fractured mid-battle, some Lunarians defecting. Kai's jet took a hit. Spiraling, Lyra swooped in, docking awkwardly in midair, a maneuver born of desperation. "Hold on, lover," she shouted, stabilizing them. The transfer was comical, Kai tumbling into her shuttle, landing in a heap at her feet. Graceful as always. He grinned, taking controls. Together, they targeted the flagship, Zara's energy blast cracking its hull. The explosion was dramatic, debris raining like confetti. Cheers echoed, but the battle raged on. In the aftermath's lull, awkward integrations continued, Lunarian defectors mingling, cultural faux pas abounding, like an alien offering a bonding zap that left a human jittery. Humor bonded them, drama forging unbreakable ties. As dusk fell, Kai stood with his princesses, overlooking the smoldering field. "We did it for now." The hybrid future loomed, full of promise, peril, and plenty of laughs. As dusk deepened into a velvet night, the smoldering field below the base exhaled its last wisps of smoke, the air heavy with the scent of charred metal and fresh, rain-soaked earth. Kai stood there with Lyra and Zara, their forms silhouetted against the fading light, the warmth of their bodies close enough to chase away the evening chill. "Did it for now?" he repeated softly, his voice carrying a mix of triumph and exhaustion. The hybrid future they envisioned felt tantalizingly real, a blend of Earth's unyielding spirit and Lunara's ethereal grace, but the day's battles had left them all craving a moment of respite, a chance to reconnect amid the promise and peril. Lyra turned to him first, her violet eyes reflecting the emerging stars, her hand slipping into his with a gentle squeeze. "The laughs we shared today, they bind us stronger than any alliance." Zara nodded, pressing against his other side, her curvaceous figure fitting perfectly against him like a puzzle piece long missing. The three of them lingered there, overlooking the quieting camp where fires flickered and voices murmured in weary celebration. But as the adrenaline ebbed, a deeper need stirred, an intimate pull that had been building since their first encounters, now amplified by the shared victories and close calls. "Come," Zara whispered, tugging him toward their private tent, a modest shelter rigged with salvaged fabrics and glowing Lunarian orbs that cast a soft, inviting light. Lyra followed, her steps light and purposeful, the sway of her hips a silent invitation. Inside, the space felt intimate, cocooned from the world outside, the sounds of the base muffled by thick walls. Kai closed the flap behind them, his heart quickening as he turned to face the sisters. Their white hair cascaded freely now, freed from the constraints of battle gear, and their pale skin seemed to shimmer faintly, as if drawing energy from the emotional high of survival. Zara approached him slowly, her fingers tracing the lines of his jaw, her touch light yet charged with intent. "You fought so bravely today, our protector. Let us care for you now, in ways only we can." Her voice was a soothing melody, laced with affection, and Kai felt a warmth spread through him, a gentle fire igniting in his core. Lyra joined her body brushing against his back, her breath warm on his neck. "We've shared dangers and joys. Now, let's share this night, fully and without reservation." Kai's resistance melted away, replaced by a deep yearning. He pulled Zara closer, his lips meeting hers in a kiss that started tender but grew with passion, their mouths exploring each other with a familiarity born of trust. Her body pressed against him, soft curves yielding to his strength, and he could feel the rhythm of her heartbeat syncing with his own. Lyra's hands roamed from behind, sliding under his shirt to caress the taut muscles of his back, her touch sending shivers of delight through him. "You're so strong, so alive," she murmured, her pointed ears brushing his skin as she nuzzled closer. They moved as one toward the pile of cushions that served as their bed, clothes shedding like unnecessary burdens. Kai's shirt fell away first, revealing the scars of his battles, which Zara traced with reverent fingers, her eyes filled with admiration. "These marks tell stories of your courage," she said, leaning in to place soft kisses along them, each one a spark that built the intensity between them. Lyra helped him with the rest, her movements graceful and teasing, her own form revealed in all its alluring beauty, smooth skin glowing softly, curves that invited exploration. The air grew warmer, charged with their shared energy as they entwined on the cushions. Kai lay back, drawing Zara atop him, her weight a welcome embrace. Their kisses deepened, hands wandering with mutual consent, discovering sensitive spots that elicited soft sighs and gentle moans. Lyra positioned herself beside them, her body curling into the mix, her lips finding Kai's shoulder while her hand joined Zara's in caressing him. The connection felt profound, a blending of worlds where human passion met alien tenderness, each touch heightening the bond they had forged. Zara shifted, her thighs straddling him, the closeness creating waves of pleasure that coursed through them both. "Feel how we connect," she breathed, her movements slow and rhythmic, building a steady crescendo that made Kai's breath hitch. Lyra watched for a moment, her violet eyes darkening with desire, before leaning in to kiss Zara. Then Kai, turning the moment into a harmonious dance of three. Their bodies moved in unison, skin against skin, the faint glow from the sisters' essence illuminating the tent like a private aurora. Sensations overwhelmed Kai, the softness of their forms, the warmth that seemed to pulse from within them, the way their pointed ears flushed with color under his gentle touch. He explored Zara with care, his hands guiding her, eliciting responses that made her arch and whisper his name. Lyra joined fully, her body pressing close, her caresses adding layers to the experience, creating a symphony of shared bliss. Time blurred, the outside world forgotten, as they lost themselves in the intimacy, each peak of pleasure drawing them closer, reinforcing the love that had blossomed amid chaos. In quiet interludes between waves of closeness, they whispered affections, Lyra sharing how Kai's human resilience inspired her, Zara confessing the joy of discovering earthly emotions through him. "This is more than repayment," Zara said softly, her head resting on his chest, listening to his heartbeat. "It's a choice, a future we're building together." Kai held them both, his arms encompassing their forms, feeling a profound sense of completeness. The hybrid potential Elara had mentioned felt real now, not just in words, but in the tender connections they shared. As the night progressed, their explorations continued with renewed gentleness, bodies intertwining in ways that celebrated their differences and similarities. Kai took the lead at times, his strength a counterpoint to their grace, guiding them through moments of heightened ecstasy where moans blended into melodic harmonies. Lyra's energy pulsed subtly, enhancing sensations, making every touch feel amplified, while Zara's illusions flickered briefly, creating ethereal visuals that added a dreamlike quality to their union. They moved fluidly, positions shifting with natural flow, Zara beneath him now, her legs wrapped around his waist, pulling him deeper into the embrace, while Lyra kissed along his back, her hands roaming freely. The build-up was exquisite, a slow climb that peaked in shared release, bodies trembling in unison, breaths mingling in the afterglow. Sweat glistened on their skin, the tent filled with the scent of their closeness, a testament to the passion they had unleashed. Resting and tangled, Kai traced patterns on Zara's hip, his fingers light and affectionate. "You too, you're everything I didn't know I needed." Lyra smiled, her pointed ear twitching playfully as she nuzzled his neck. "And you, our human hero, complete us." The intimacy lingered, soft touches reigniting sparks, leading to another round of tender exploration where they savored each other slowly, prolonging the connection. Hours passed in this sanctuary, the drama of the day transforming into a night of profound bonding. But even in bliss, hints of the world intruded, a distant calm buzz signaling updates from Elara, reminders of the Council's threats. Yet, for now, they ignored it, focusing on the here and now, their bodies and hearts aligned. As dawn approached, they finally settled into a peaceful tangle, bodies relaxed and sated. Kai felt a surge of protectiveness, knowing this intimacy fueled their resolve for the challenges ahead. The hybrid future wasn't just about worlds merging, it was about them. Three souls intertwined, ready to face whatever came next with unbreakable unity. The morning light filtered in, but they lingered, sharing lazy kisses and whispers. Zara's hand rested on his abdomen, her touch still stirring warmth. "Last night was transformative," she said, her voice husky from the night's passions. Lyra agreed, pressing a kiss to his forehead. "We've shared so much, now we're truly one." Kai pulled them closer, the memory of their closeness vivid. But duty called, a meeting with Rays to discuss the defectors and next moves. Reluctantly, they dressed, touches lingering, promises of more in their eyes. Stepping out, the base stirred, unaware of the private world they'd inhabited. Drama awaited, but fortified by their bond, they faced it head-on. The awkward integrations from before now felt surmountable, humor likely to return, but the foundation was solid: love, passion, and humanity's enduring spirit. As the base stirred to life under the morning sun, fighters emerging from tents with steaming mugs of synthetic coffee and weary nods of camaraderie. Kai walked hand in hand with Lyra and Zara toward the central command hub, a reinforced bunker half buried in the hillside. Its entrance guarded by armed sentries who saluted with a mix of respect and lingering suspicion. The awkward integrations of the previous day seemed like distant memories now. Replaced by a tentative harmony, defected Lunarians mingled with human troops, sharing tech tips over breakfast rations, their pointed ears and glowing skins no longer drawing outright stares but curious glances. Kai squeezed the sisters' hands, the warmth from their night together still lingering in his veins like a quiet promise, fueling his steps as they approached the hub where Rays waited to hash out strategies with the new allies. Inside, the air was thick with the hum of holographic displays and the scent of ozone from overworked generators. Rays stood at the head of a scarred metal table, flanked by a handful of resistance leaders and a cluster of Lunarian defectors whose pale forms contrasted sharply with the humans' rugged attire. Maps of the coastline flickered in blue light, marking council ship positions that dotted the horizon like ominous stars. "Vance!" Rays grunted in greeting, his eyes flicking to Lyra and Zara with a nod that was almost approving. "Your companions proved their worth in the skies yesterday. Let's see if we can turn these defectors' intel into a knockout punch." Kai leaned against the table, pulling up a chair for the sisters, their presence drawing subtle shifts in the room, whispers quieting, postures straightening. Zara smiled graciously, her violet eyes scanning the holograms, while Lyra's fingers drummed lightly on the surface, her energy barely contained. The discussion flowed swiftly, defectors outlined council weak points, humans countered with guerrilla tactics honed in the slums. Their flagship relies on a central nexus for shielding, one defector explained, his voice melodic yet urgent. "Disrupt it, and the fleet crumbles." Rays rubbed his chin, the static-zapped hair from yesterday's mishap now tamed into a military buzz. Sounds like a job for your jet, Vance, with some Lunarian upgrades. We could, a sudden chime interrupted, a priority signal beaming in from the data crystal Zara had salvaged. The room fell silent as Elara's hologram materialized above the table, her regal features composed but etched with a gravity that made Kai's stomach twist. "My daughters, my allies," she began, her voice echoing like wind through crystal caverns. "Time grows short. The council advances, but there is a truth I must reveal, one that changes everything." Kai exchanged a glance with Lyra and Zara, their expressions mirroring his curiosity. The intimate bond from the night before making him feel attuned to their subtle shifts, the way Zara's hand tightened on his knee, Lyra's pointed ears perking forward. Elara's image wavered slightly, as if the weight of her words strained the transmission. "Kai Vance, you are no ordinary human. Decades ago, before the war, I ventured to Earth in secret, seeking understanding of your resilient species. I fell in love with a human pilot, a man much like you, brave and unyielding. From that union came a child, hidden for his safety, raised among humans to bridge our worlds." The room froze, the revelation hitting like a plasma blast in still air. Kai's mind reeled, his grip on the table whitening his knuckles. Him, half Lunarian? It explained the inexplicable pull he felt toward Elara in the ruins, the ease with which he adapted to Lyra and Zara's energies, the surges of intuition in battle that saved his life time and again. Whispers erupted around the table, Ray's eyes widening in shock, defectors murmuring in awe. "That's impossible." Kai muttered, his voice hoarse, but deep down, fragments clicked into place, his unnatural piloting skills, the way alien tech responded to him instinctively, even the glowing warmth he felt during their intimate nights, as if his body recognized its heritage. Elara continued, her violet eyes, now so familiar, so like his own when he looked closer, locking onto him through the hologram. "You are my son, Kai. The Council discovered this, feared the hybrid potential, and orchestrated the blight as a pretext to invade and eliminate the threat. But I protected you, sent you to Earth anonymously. Now, with your sisters, yes, Lyra and Zara share your bloodline, engineered from my essence but infused with human traits, they complete the circle. Your bond awakens latent powers that can heal Lunara and repel the Council forever." Lyra and Zara gasped in unison, their hands flying to their mouths, violet eyes wide with the same surprise crashing through Kai. Sisters, not just princesses, but blood kin? The twist unraveled everything. The repayment, a clever ruse to reunite family. The attraction, a forbidden undercurrent now reframed as familial yet evolved into something deeper through ignorance. Zara turned to him, tears shimmering. "Brother, yet more, our connection. It's why it felt so profound, so destined." Lyra nodded, her face a mix of joy and confusion. "Mother hid this to protect us all. The hybrids we can create, they'll be unstoppable." The room exploded into chaos, Rays slamming the table. "This is madness, Vance, a half-alien prince. How do we know this isn't a trap?" But the defectors bowed slightly, reverence in their postures. The signs were there, his aura glows faintly, like ours. Kai stood, a surge of energy coursing through him, his skin tingling as if awakening. He flexed his hand, and a soft glow emanated, startling everyone, including himself. The surprise deepened, memories flooded back. Unbidden flashes of childhood dreams with starry skies and elfin figures, dismissed as fantasies. Drama surged as alarms blared, Council scouts breaching the perimeter, drawn by the signal. "They've traced the transmission," Rays yelled, grabbing his rifle. Kai felt a powerful shift within, his hybrid nature unlocking abilities he never knew, enhanced reflexes, a mental link to Lyra and Zara that let him sense their thoughts, coordinate instantly. "Form up," he commanded, his voice carrying an authoritative ring that silenced doubts. The twist had transformed him from rogue pilot to pivotal hero, humanity's bridge to the stars. Outside, the battle ignited with renewed ferocity. Council dropships descended, disgorging troops in shimmering armor, energy weapons blazing. Kai led the charge, his body moving with unnatural speed, dodging blasts that would have felled a normal man. Lyra flanked him, her powers amplified by their revealed bond, creating energy shields that deflected fire. Zara illusion decoys, confusing the enemy ranks. "Feel the family strength?" she called, her voice laced with fierce pride. Rays fought beside them, his skepticism melting into grudging respect as Kai disarmed a council elite with a precise energy pulse from his palm, a ability manifesting on instinct. "Damn, Vance, or whatever your royal name is, You're one of us, alien blood or not. Humor flickered briefly amid the thrill, a human fighter quipping, "So, does this make you Prince Charming with pointy ears?" But the surprise's ripples extended further, through the mental link. Kai glimpsed Elara's full plan. The blight was partially engineered by the Council to force her hand, but his existence was the key to a prophecy on Lunara, a hybrid heir to unite realms. The Council feared it, hence the relentless pursuit. A massive enforcer drone loomed, its cannons charging. Kai leaped atop it, his glow intensifying, channeling power to overload its core. The explosion lit the field, debris scattering foes. As the skirmish turned in their favor, defectors rallying with cries of "for the true heir," Kai pulled Lyra and Zara close during a lull. "This changes nothing about us, only deepens it." Their kisses, brief but passionate, sealed the evolved bond, sibling ties twisted by fate into romantic destiny, acceptable in Lunarian lore where bloodlines blurred for survival. The twist propelled them forward. With Kai's awakening, they hacked Council comms, broadcasting the truth galaxy-wide. Lunarian forces fractured further, more defecting. Elara's hologram reappeared mid-battle. "My son, lead them, heal our worlds." Kai nodded, humanity's spirit surging through his veins, HFY embodied in a hybrid form. The surprise had upended everything, but in the best way, turning personal revelation into universal salvation. As Council remnants retreated, the base cheered, but Kai knew this was just the beginning. Powers unlocked, family reunited, he soared into the fray once more, ready to claim the stars. Yet, the mental link revealed one more layer. Elara's lover, his father, wasn't dead. He led a hidden human faction, waiting for this moment. The family reunion loomed larger, surprises compounding. For now, though, Kai focused on the fight, his enhanced senses picking up incoming reinforcements. "Together," he said to his sister's lovers, their hands linked, energies merging in a brilliant aura. The battle raged on, twists unfolding into triumph. As the battle raged on, twists unfolding into triumph, Kai felt the surge of his newfound hybrid powers propelling him forward like an untamed force, his aura flaring brighter with every clash against the Council's relentless assault. Energy blasts streaked across the field, illuminating the chaotic dance of human fighters and Lunarian defectors united against the armored enforcers descending from the skies. Lyra and Zara fought at his sides, their movements synchronized through the mental link, a seamless blend of sibling intuition and deeper affection that made their trio an unstoppable whirlwind. "Push them back," Kai shouted, his voice amplified by an inner resonance he was still getting used to, as he unleashed a directed pulse that shattered a drone midair, debris raining down like metallic confetti. But triumph was fleeting. Drama heightened as a massive Council warship crested the horizon, its hull gleaming ominously under the midday sun, casting a shadow that swallowed the base whole. Sirens wailed anew, resistance teams scrambling to anti-air positions while defectors chanted ancient Lunarian battle hymns that clashed awkwardly with human war cries. Reyes barked orders from a fortified turret, his face a mask of grim determination. "Vance, or should I say, Your Highness, get that fancy glow of yours up there and buy us time." The title hung in the air like an ill-fitting joke, drawing a few chuckles from nearby fighters despite the peril. Kai shot him a wry grin. "Call me that again, and I'll zap you myself, family tradition." The awkwardness escalated when Kai, still adjusting to his heritage, attempted to rally the troops with a Lunarian gesture, a raised palm emitting a motivational energy wave. Instead, it backfired hilariously, causing nearby comm devices to glitch and blare outdated Earth pop songs at full volume. Fighters paused mid-reload, staring as "We Will Rock You" echoed over the battlefield, one defector tilting his head in confusion. "Is this human psychological warfare? It's catchy." Laughter bubbled up amid the tension, lightening the mood just enough to sharpen focus. Kai flushed, rubbing his temple. Note to self, practice the family tricks later. Lyra laughed softly, her hand brushing his arm in reassurance, the touch sparking a familiar warmth that reminded him of their evolved bond, sibling by blood, lovers by choice, a Lunarian norm that still felt surreal. "You're learning, brother, and it's endearing." Zara nodded, her illusion powers cloaking a squad in deceptive shadows, but in her haste, she accidentally made Reyes appear as a dancing hologram, his virtual self grooving to the music glitch. "Oops, fixed," she called, stifling giggles as Reyes swore colorfully, the humor providing a brief respite before the warship's cannons thundered. Drama intensified as the ship unleashed a barrage, energy beams carving craters into the earth, forcing evasive dives and desperate countermeasures. Kai leaped into the fray, his hybrid agility carrying him atop a crumbling barricade where he confronted a squad of council elites, towering figures in ornate armor, their violet eyes narrowed in fanatical zeal. The abomination must fall. Their leader snarled, blades igniting. Kai parried with a manifested energy shield, the clash sending sparks flying, but the mental link revealed their thoughts, fear of the prophecy, of a hybrid heir appending their corrupt rule. "You fear what I represent, unity," Kai retorted, his words dramatic and echoing, drawing strength from Lyra's telepathic encouragement. "We're with you, always." Zara flanked from the shadows, her illusions multiplying Kai into a dozen versions, confusing the elites into striking phantoms. One swung wildly, accidentally slicing his comrade's armor, eliciting a comedic yelp that cut through the drama. "Watch your aim, fool," the wounded one griped, hopping on one foot as iridescent fluid leaked. Human fighters capitalized, pouring fire, but the awkward hilarity didn't last. A beam grazed Zara, singeing her fur garment and sending her tumbling. Kai's heart lurched, protective rage surging as he channeled a massive pulse, disintegrating the squad in a dramatic explosion that lit the sky. "Zara," he cried, rushing to her side, Lyra already there, her healing glow mending the wound with tender efficiency. Zara winced but smiled weakly. "I'm fine, just a scratch. Though my outfit's ruined, human fashion next time." The humor in her voice eased the tension, but Kai's embrace was fierce, the sibling-lover dynamic adding layers to the drama. Through the link, he felt their shared resolve: no one would tear this family apart. The warship loomed closer, its shields flickering under sustained fire from upgraded resistance cannons, Lunarian crystals fused with human artillery, a hybrid marvel that hummed with unstable power. Rays coordinated from below, but awkwardness struck again when a defector, misunderstanding orders, overloaded a turret, causing it to spin wildly and pepper the sky with erratic shots. "Cease fire, you cosmic klutz," Rays bellowed, ducking as a bolt whizzed past. Laughter mixed with curses, the mishap miraculously clipping the warship's auxiliary thrusters, forcing it to list drunkenly. "Well, damn accidental genius," Rays admitted, shaking his head. Seizing the moment, Kai signaled Lyra and Zara. "Time to board, end this from inside." They nodded, their auras merging in a brilliant display that propelled them skyward, a dramatic ascent fueled by familial energy, drawing odd gasps from allies below. The mental link buzzed with strategy, Lyra to sabotage engines, Zara to illusion the crew into chaos, Kai to confront the bridge, but as they breached the hull via a forced airlock, awkward situations piled on. The corridors were a maze of elegant Lunarian design clashing with council modifications, sleek panels alongside bulky weapons racks. Kai tripped over a loose cable, tumbling into Lyra, who caught him with a smirk. "Graceful as ever, brother. Remember our nights?" Balance was key there too. Her teasing wink added humor, lightening the infiltration's tension. Deeper in, they encountered guards. Zara's illusions turned the hallway into a funhouse mirror, enemies firing at reflections of themselves, one shouting in frustration. "Which one is me?" The absurdity had Kai chuckling mid-dodge, but drama peaked when they reached the engine room. Lyra interfaced with the core, her glow sinking, but a security protocol activated, a holographic quiz on Lunarian history, of all things. "What is the third moon cycle?" it demanded. Lyra blinked. Mother never mentioned pop quizzes in battle. Zara guessed wildly, triggering a minor alarm that sprayed foam everywhere, coating them in sticky bubbles. "Now we're fighting in a bubble bath," Kai quipped, slipping comically as he fended off responders, the humor underscoring the high stakes. They pressed on, foam dripping, to the bridge where the council admiral awaited, a stern figure with elaborate robes, flanked by loyalists. The hybrid spawn and his kin, he sneered, activating a force field. Drama thickened as he revealed a captive, a human pilot, battered but defiant, Kai's Earth foster father, the man who'd raised him oblivious to his origins. Surrender or he dies. Kai's world tilted, the link flooding with Lyra and Zara's shock. "Dad," Kai whispered, the word heavy with emotion. The admiral laughed. "Poetic, isn't it? The family reunion ends here." Awkward tension mounted as Kai negotiated, his hybrid charisma stalling for time. "Fear the prophecy because it exposes your greed." But humor slipped in when Zara, still foamy, illusioned the admiral as a ridiculous clown, complete with honking nose, distracting guards long enough for Lyra to hack the field. Chaos erupted, fists, blades, energy clashes in a dramatic melee. Kai freed his foster dad, who punched a guard with human grit. "Son, alien royalty, we'll talk later, after I whoop these pointy-eared punks." The Admiral lunged, but Kai's pulse sent him flying, the bridge consoles sparking. Alarms blared, self-destruct imminent. "Evacuate," Kai ordered, scooping his dad as they fled, Lyra and Zara covering with shields. The escape pod launch was awkward, cramped quarters pressing family together, bubbles still popping. "This is not how I imagined meeting my in-laws," his dad joked, eyeing the sisters. Or, siblings-in-law, this family's complicated. The warship exploded in a fireball, Council forces scattering in defeat. Back at base, cheers erupted, but drama lingered, integrations ahead, worlds to heal. Kai hugged his dad, the link expanding to include him faintly. "Welcome to the family circus." Laughter mingled with tears, awkward revelations forging stronger bonds. As night fell, plans for Lunara's renewal began, hybrid powers key. But scouts reported Council remnants plotting, drama unending. Kai stood with his kin, humor in their eyes. Ready for round two? The answer, a unified yes, humanity's spirit shining through. As night fell, plans for Lunara's renewal began to take shape around flickering holographic displays in the command hub, where human engineers and Lunarian defectors huddled together, sketching blueprints for hybrid technologies that could cleanse the cosmic blight from the alien homeworld. Hybrid powers were key, Kai realized, his own awakening serving as the blueprint for a future where Earth's tenacity fused with Lunara's elegance to create something unbreakable. Scouts reported Council remnants plotting in the shadows of distant orbitals, their scattered forces regrouping for one final desperate strike, drama that seemed unending, a persistent echo of the war's chaos. But as Kai stood with his kin under the starlit sky, the humor in their eyes sparkled like distant constellations, a reminder that even in the face of eternity's threats, laughter and love could light the way. "Ready for round two?" he asked, his voice carrying a mix of challenge and warmth. The answer came as a unified yes, humanity's spirit shining through in the determined nods of Lyra, Zara, and his foster dad, who clapped him on the back with a gruff chuckle. "Kid, with family like this, the universe doesn't stand a chance." The days that followed blurred into a symphony of preparation and progress, the base transforming from a makeshift fortress into a beacon of interworld cooperation. Kai's hybrid abilities blossomed under Lyra and Zara's guidance, their mental link allowing him to channel energies that mended not just wounds, but the very fabric of damaged tech, repairing a downed shuttle with a mere touch. Its engines humming back to life with a Lunarian glow infused by human ingenuity. His foster dad, a no-nonsense mechanic named Harlan, watched with wide eyes at first, then rolled up his sleeves to contribute, jury-rigging Earth tools to amplify the effects. "Never thought I'd see the day my boy's zapping ships like some space wizard," Harlan muttered one afternoon, wiping grease from his hands as they tested a new shield generator. Lyra leaned in, her pointed ears twitching with amusement. "Wizard, on Lunara, we'd call him a conduit of stars, but I like your word better. It sounds adventurous." Zara added a playful zap of her own, making Harlan's tools levitate briefly, drawing a surprised laugh from him. "All right, you cosmic pranksters, let's focus before we blow the place up." Amid the work, personal bonds deepened, weaving a tapestry of family that transcended blood and stars. Kai and Harlan shared quiet evenings by the fire, recounting old Earth stories, fishing trips on forgotten lakes, late-night repairs on ancient aircraft that grounded Kai amid his celestial revelations. "You were always special, son," Harlan admitted one night, staring into the flames. "Knew it from the day that mysterious woman left you with me. Never imagined this, though." Kai nodded, the weight of his dual heritage settling comfortably now, like a well-fitted flight suit. Lyra and Zara joined them often, their ethereal presence adding a layer of wonder. Zara's illusions conjured holographic fish leaping from imaginary waters, while Lyra's healing touch eased Harlan's old aches, fostering a warmth that turned awkward introductions into genuine affection. "You're part of us now, Dad," Kai said, the word bridging worlds effortlessly. The Council's remnants struck at dawn a week later, their fleet a ragged armada of desperation, cloaked in fading shields as they descended upon the coastal ruins of New Haven. Alarms pierced the air, but this time, the resistance was ready, hybrid squads deploying with precision, human grit amplified by Lunarian grace. Kai took to the skies in his upgraded jet, now a fusion of Earth steel and alien crystal. Lyra and Zara in flanking shuttles linked mentally for seamless coordination. The battle unfolded like a cosmic ballet, beams clashing against reinforced barriers, illusions scattering enemy formations into confusion, energy pulses from Kai's hands crippling lead ships. Drama peaked as the Council's flagship loomed, its commander broadcasting a final ultimatum: surrender the air or face annihilation. But Kai's response was a defiant surge, his aura flaring to hack their systems, revealing their bluff, depleted resources, mutinous crews turning against the corrupt elite. In the heart of the fray, Kai boarded the flagship with his sisters, their bond a shield against the chaos. Guards fell before their combined might, Zara's deceptions turning allies against foes, Lyra's agility disarming threats with elegant precision, Kai's hybrid strength shattering defenses. On the bridge, the commander, a once-proud Lunarian now haggard and cornered, faced them with trembling rage. "You abomination, you'll destroy our traditions." But Kai, flanked by his family, extended a hand not in violence but in mercy. "Traditions built on lies crumble. Join us in building something true." The commander hesitated, then knelt, the fleet surrendering as Elara's reinforcements arrived, her fleet, loyal and vast, emerging from hyperspace like guardians of dawn. With the Council dismantled, peace negotiations unfolded under dual suns, Earth's leaders and Lunara's royals convening in the rebuilt halls of New Haven, now a symbol of resilience. Kai stood at the forefront, his hybrid nature the living proof of Unity's power, advocating for shared technologies that would heal Lunara's blight while bolstering Earth's defenses against future threats. Lyra and Zara, his sisters and soulmates, shared in the vision, their love a quiet force that inspired alliances. "We've created more than peace," Zara whispered during a private moment overlooking the ocean, her hand on Kai's, Lyra's intertwined with theirs. "We've created hope for hybrids for families like ours." Kai kissed them both, the act of affirmation of their unique bond, accepted in Lunarian culture as a path to renewal. Harlan, ever the grounding force, adapted with surprising ease, tinkering on hybrid vessels bound for Lunara. "Gonna miss Earth's greasy burgers." He joked at the farewell feast, but his eyes gleamed with excitement for the stars. Elara arrived in person, her presence regal yet maternal, embracing Kai as the son she'd longed to claim. "You've repaid my gift 1,000-fold," she said, her violet eyes misty, "not with flesh or gold, but with a future." The circle completed, debts transformed into legacies, as shuttles lifted toward Lunara. Kai piloted one final time over the slums that had shaped him, the markets buzzing anew, children playing amid rebuilt streets, a testament to humanity's unyielding spirit. "Humanity fuck yeah," he murmured, echoing the HFY ethos that had carried them through. Lyra and Zara smiled, their white hair catching the light, pointed ears attuned to the hum of engines and hearts alike. The journey ahead promised adventures, exploring Lunara's crystal spires, birthing hybrid generations to heal worlds, but for now, they soared together. A family forged in fire and stars. Years later, on Lunara's restored plains under twin moons, Kai stood with his kin, watching young hybrids, children of their union, play with energies that blended Earth games and alien dances. The blight was gone, Council remnants reformed into allies, Earth and Lunara linked by portals of shared knowledge. Drama had given way to harmony, awkward beginnings to enduring bonds, humor threading through it all like a lifeline. Who knew saving a queen in the ruins would lead here? Kai reflected, pulling Lyra and Zara close. Harlan, nearby with a Lunarian brew in hand, raised a toast. To family complicated, cosmic, and conquering. And as the moons rose higher, casting a glow on their faces, the story closed not with an end, but with a beginning, a universe united, where humans proved once more that in the vastness of space, their spirit was the brightest star. As the moons rose higher, casting a glow on their faces, the story closed not with an end, but with a beginning, a universe united, where humans proved once more that in the vastness of space, their spirit was the brightest star. Kai looked to the horizon, knowing that adventures awaited, but with his family by his side, every challenge would be conquered. Personally, I love how this tale weaves HFY themes with romance and family bonds. It's a reminder that strength comes from unity, even across stars. What do you think? Would you embrace a hybrid future like Kai's? Thank you all for watching. Your likes, subs, comments, and shares are a huge motivation for us to create more epic stories. Hit that button and let us know your thoughts.